Hey kids, this is Unit 0, How This Class Works. And this video is meant to give you a really good overview of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen in the classroom when we start to do our self-paced individual work building towards mastery. So let's get started. All right, so what we're going to begin with is a brief overview. So there's going to be three major types of learning that we're going to do. Video lessons like this, and then you will have your video notes that you'll take with this. You'll find those on the board. And then we're going to do some practice lessons. So whatever skill or standard that we're working towards, then we work with a practice text. It could be really small, really short, might be a video, different options there. And then we're going to do a micro check or a mastery check. And these are the checks that really show us if you've gotten through that skill and understood it and mastered it. Micro checks are going to be teeny tiny, and oftentimes I use a lot of those through Edpuzzle, and you just kind of answer the questions, multiple choice, and then mastery checks. So it's mastery of the skill of the standard that we're working on, and it's done a bit heavier, if you will. And then there's three types of lessons that we're going to have, and you get options in how to do those and the pacing of those. And it's going to be must do. That is something that everyone has to do, like everyone must do. Watch this video and fill out the notes. Then there is should do. And those are options that are good for you. You should be doing them. They're not mandatory, but they're beneficial to your learning to reach that mastery for that skill or standard. And then there's aspire to. Those are a little bit more challenging or a little bit more creative. The should do's and the should do's and the aspire to do's. You can do those with partners. You can do those in small groups. It doesn't have to be done individually. And while those aren't graded and scored and given points, they kind of work like a savings account. So if you've been struggling, having to reach mastery, and life has happened for you, lots of different circumstances. Maybe you've done a good amount of aspires to do or should do's, and we need to look at some of those to augment your grade. So we kind of pull those out of your savings account. So mostly what we have is video lessons, and they're going to look just like this. One of the key points I want us to kind of pay attention to will be these little notes and little icons. So every time I'm teaching you in a video and you see this little icon, that means you definitely have something that you need to be taking notes on your note catcher. But you'll see it's always going to give you the title of what we're doing and the skill that we're working towards, little basic notes, and then a video. I teach a lot through short videos, clips, all kinds of pop culture to get to the concept so that we can move into practices. And then you can also have kind of like a practice check. So there would be like a prose or a poem and things to highlight, things to annotate for. You work through that little practice and doing all those tips. Sometimes I give you like right in here. Sometimes I'm going to give you straight out pieces of advice, things to use to answer your questions. And then everything that we do is always going to have a self-assessment. So before you even turn that into me for check, you can see, how do you feel? Did you feel behind on this lesson? You're like on pace, you're doing well. You are pretty close, but you need maybe just a little revision and you need my help for that. You're like, hey, Miss Wilder, this was too easy. Accelerate me. I need something tougher. I need something harder. I want to be challenged. Or you feel like right on par, that you've mastered that. So those are kind of like you self-assess. And then over here in this area, I'll let you know which one I feel you've done. When you go to turn these in, you and I will meet, we'll conference, you get immediate feedback, and you won't be necessarily waiting 2-3 days for a grade. And then the other way, sorry, that was your practice lessons. The other way that we work on that, this is the front of the practice lessons here, where you'll see this is the skill of their standard, this is your objective, steps that you're going to do, colors that you need to highlight, and then you've got your text, and then you work through that. So there's your practice lessons. And then we have our micro and our mastery checks. So when you go to do your micro or mastery check and it's an Edpuzzle, it will always look like this. And it will always tell you how many things you're about to do so you can kind of get in the right mindset. So this one would have 1 excerpt, 2 multiple choice questions, 2 short response questions. So you can see they're micro, they're teeny tiny. And these are part of your grade as well. As long as you can do all these steps, that's showing mastery, that's full points, and that's how I said if anyone in class is looking to earn an A, that's how you get your A. And then also with those micro and mastery checks, they might be a bit longer. They might have like a poem that was up here. You need to explain how that's working. And then down here, and that was a really bad circle. Down here in this area, this is where your mastery check will be. So yes, I believe you have mastered that content, or maybe it's a no. And then I am going to tell you there's these choices right here. So maybe your choice D is going to be best for you. So I'll check choice D. Or if I really, really, really think that you'd benefit from one-on-one conference or a small group, I'll check a yes. If you need to do it more than one time, if you're down on like your second or like third down here, you'll answer this question. Tell me what you've done. Tell me what's not working. We meet and I help you do mastery. You might need to do a new mastery check. You and I just might need to do a verbal conversation and, oh, you just missed that one thing and you're ready to go. So you can see that you and I are always checking in. We're working in small group, individual, small pacing, because the lessons are being taught here for you. And then there's the 3 different ways that you can do this. So get that out of the way. Your must-dos will always be kind of like in this color, like this, DP melon color. The should-dos are in blue, and the aspire to do are always in yellow. I'm a very color-coded type of person. For every lesson that you're going to do, you'll see the color code here. It'll give you every single description that you need in order to do that. Let's see if I can get back there. No, it's not letting me get back really quick. Let's see if we can make that a little bigger, and it's not wanting to. And then sorry about that. There's drop-down menus here, so you can keep pace of this. You will always get a lesson outline to help you keep track of everything. It tells you everything you need to do, suggested deadlines. You're working from a window. I give you, here's where we begin, here's where we end, and you have all these options in between. You might also get a menu here. So these are all of your must-do activities in a lesson. And all of these are options over here for you. The hearts tell you that this is something that we're going to do whole class. It also shows you things that you can do with partners. It tells you when you have to do a micro check, a mastery check. So kind of like this menu tells you everything that you absolutely need. And then the other way that we're going to track your mastery is through like a daily tracker. And so we'll be on those lessons. And once you've mastered it, I'll let you know. I'll put the keys up. Now these go in front of the whole class so that we can kind of help each other, support each other. Or if someone's done and you see that they've mastered it, you can go to that student if I'm busy and go get help from them. So we're here to work and support each other together. And that is pretty much it for how this class works. There's some tips and tricks to come, but that gives you the general idea, and I hope that this is something that you're excited for. So really quick, just to remember, we have video lessons, we do practices, then we do a micro or a mini check, and then we have a must do, a should do, and aspire to do. See you in the next video.